Hey everyone, this is Dusk AestheticGamer, and tonight we are playing Moon Silver. Moon Silver is a, I guess, atmospheric, story-based horror game. Honestly speaking, I have no idea what its horror element is. Maybe it's not a very scary game. Maybe it's the most terrifying thing I've ever played, though I have my severe doubts about that one. Regardless, we're going to be playing it. It was bundled a while ago. However, though, I actually picked it up because it's fairly cheap. You can buy it off to Sarah for like $3, so whatever. We're going to roll straight into it. Oh, wait, there's a tile. A game by David, I'm not going to try and say the last name. Click the tile to begin. The Moon Silver is intended to be completed in a single sitting, and there is no save system. It is suggested you set aside an hour to complete it. Conveniently, an hour is exactly how much time I have, so let's roll. It's fading out to black, so I'm assuming we're doing things right. Explain the controls, toggle flashlight on or off, interact, examine, toggle menu. Which means I should probably turn my flashlight on. I was right. Look at that, glorious 60 frames per second. Recently, I've been trying to get into the habit of making my streams work in 60 frames per second, as well as making it so that my recordings are in 60 frames per second. It takes up more space, but let me ask you guys there on stream. Does this look nice to you guys? Do you guys like the 60 frames per second goodness? Or does it look weird? Alright, anyways, we're going to start investigating things. I need to click things. Issa was the oldest, and if not the wisest, certainly the most learned. She remembered when Josiah still lived, and she would sit in this crate and listen to his stories. On this crate, not in this crate, that'd be kind of silly. Those memories, like so many others, were bittersweet. Alright, anyways, I'm going to take a glance around regardless. So apparently this is one that going to have a pretty strong narrative. It's right now trying to teach me, observe your flashlight battery, recharge it as power outlets. Oh, there's actually a flashlight battery? Abel loved Issa, and he loved Danielle and Ellie, but when his mind wasn't turned towards their well-being, it was filled with thoughts of bleak hopelessness. Sometimes he would rifle through the barrel, and the promise of undiscovered trinkets raised his spirits, if only temporarily. So I'm going to turn off my flashlight whenever I decide to observe things. Ellie was a sullen and beautiful girl, the youngest of all of them, with a mind unfit for the lofty thoughts. She had once come in here to see if there was any old firewood. Otherwise, she stayed in her cluttered house where it was warm and familiar. And a wrench? Key? No, nothing. Alright, he's got a lot of things to say about random objects, but nothing about a wrench. Danielle was a quiet man who spent his life lost in the books of old, or lost in his own thoughts. He wondered where the barrels had come from, and who had put them here. It's a good question. I guess he's one of those guys fucking can think about everything, peoples. Oh my god, the text is like melding into each other when I walk over here. Anyways, I think it's okay for me to leave now. Yesterday, 4 people lived on this island. Now only 1 remains. So basically, this was an island, 4 people lived, and now everyone but me is dead. Cool. Or cold, because it looks like it's in the middle of winter here. So welcome to our island paradise, where it's only me, and telephone lines. Though the fact that there are telephone lines would imply that there, at least at one point in time, was more people than just myself. Follow the telephone lines. Let me even ask it like this. What do you guys think? Left, right. Left, right. Neither way looks particularly promising, but I'm sure they'll lead to something. Maybe the island's very small, but left, right to begin out. Okay, let's see. Someone's saying right. Okay, you guys like the direction right? Now we got lefts coming in. Right, left, right, left. I'm going to feel like a Twitch play session in a moment, but I will say... I guess you guys want to go exit stage right, which means left. Let's go forward this way. First, I'm going to check out those rafts out in the ocean. I believe I probably can't get to them, but I can try and identify what they are. Actually, they're not rafts at all. They are buildings that have sunken under the water, implying that this was in fact either high tide, which I guess might make sense, or the island is slowly sinking. That reminds me of another game I have to play called Sinking Island, where you have a certain time limit to complete the game. As time goes on, the island continues to sink. There's a few time-based games I want to play at some point. Another one example would be D. Let's open the door up, and it's a nice little firewood, which implies someone's been here recently. She took the knife from the shelf. The blade was dull and rusty, but it was still pointed. She was not smiling. This sounds like a cabin I want to hang too long in. Any other stories involving women suddenly coming out with knives? Issa could not talk to Abel about her feelings because Abel was overburdened with his own, so she often sat on her desk and wrote. She did not know who would ever read her papers, but there was something profound about preserving thoughts, so that they would live long after there was nobody around to read them. Paper, I would say, deteriorates far sooner than people do for the most part, though. Unless Chris is taken well care of. I just found the key. Really no comment about the fact that there's a lit fireplace here? Well, whatever. I guess I'm not your memory mother here, so let's go on. A key obtained, a knife, and a story about Abel. Or Abel, or whatever you want to call him. This looks like more like a shrine or something, but I guess maybe the candles are just there for decoration. No. This definitely has a, like, shrine look. We got the bells and the clany clanes and the candles and the sort of look to it. Maybe it's also because of the fog in this room for some reason. That's probably actually smoke because of the candles. They could make more candles. They couldn't make more wood, so Abel burned candles. If you can make candles but can't burn wood, that makes sense to me. Here is a paper describing something. There is an evil man on this island, and I know him well. We played together as youths. We have cried together. We have eaten together. We have loved the same woman, betrayed the same woman. He is my constant companion, and my worst enemy. He puppets my arms, legs, and mouth to his own selfish ends, and secretly hurts everyone I love as I watch, helpless with their unearthed, or I guess unched? I've actually never heard of that word before, but I guess it probably does exist. Their unfelt blood on my hands. He gifts my flesh with indescribable pleasures, and blights my soul with unutterable despair. His name is Sin. Oh, okay, getting all religious here. Not religious, but getting all profound here, I see. And we are irrevocably bound together. Sure, there exists no hell worse than this. Okay, so basically from this, it seems like somebody felt like a huge sinner on this island, so I guess the shrine look is somewhat intentional, because apparently someone who was in here thought that they were a sinner, bounded by sin. This little thing is locked, implying I need a key of some sort. I did pick up a key, but I'm going to assume since I'm not doing anything with this, it's not the right key. Which means I should remember this is here in case I decide to come back. Abel read to escape. Daniel read to feed his lofty, strange thoughts. Issa read to pass the time. But Ellie? As far as Abel knew, she hadn't opened a book in years. What did she do all day? He didn't know. Something he worried about her. He worried about all of them. They were as melancholy as he was. I don't know, you have to give the questions there. And so we are done with the foggy candle shrine room. I have to remember there is a locked box here. Yep, okay. Out we go. Wait, what happens here? That's what I read before. Something which is kind of odd about the game is when little text messages pop up all over your screen. Now then, there's like 2 other buildings here before I move on to the next thing. This room has kind of an interesting light effect. It's actually making me a little bit confused where I'm supposed to be going. Even though all there is in here is that simple thing. There is a chair here. I've been thinking about life, said Abel, sitting down, and death, and uncertainty. I'm to look over here. There is in fact wood. Daniel stared at the pile of wood. He hadn't burned wood for months. Let's talk about Ellie instead. Abel was silent for a moment. What about Ellie? He said. Daniel didn't need to answer. Abel swallowed. Alright, let's talk about Ellie. Now, fireplace. Nope, there is a book though. Abel often visited Daniel. He loved to talk, and Daniel loved to listen. Issa and I were out for a walk, said Abel as he entered. I thought I'd stop by before you got caught up in the book. Daniel put his book down. Hello, he said. His expression confused Abel. So there was something with a girl between the 2 of them. This is also apparently an island full of readers. A nightmare to many children of the current age. Now then, open up this door. There's another book. What were you and Abel doing at this house yesterday while I was climbing the mountain? He answered, casually flipping through the book on her table. It was covered in dust. Ellie was laying on the bed. Daniel came in. She scowled at him suspiciously and beautifully. What were you and Issa doing in this old power building? In the old power building? What were you talking about? Oh boy. Seems like they had suspicions rising with each other. So I'll slam the fireplace if I can look at it correctly. I guess it was this. She glared at him. I'm gonna get wood, she spat. Did you think I was too stupid to know? He said. I'm going to get wood. Seems they're having their disputes here. Island of disputes. I bet they all killed each other except me, or maybe I killed all of them because I didn't want to deal with all their yelling. Actually, I don't know if I'm a boy or girl. I'm assuming I'm one of the 4 characters mentioned in the story. Maybe not. Maybe I am. But I would assume maybe I am. To figure out which one lives on all the others that die. And exactly why they died. Daniel sat with Ellie under the tree, his arm around her. Do you remember when we used to climb that tower over there? He said. I wonder how long before the whole island is underwater. So the island is sinking. Not only is the island sinking, it sounds like we've been here for a long time. If we have to have memories like that seem like they're so long ago. I would have probably guessed it's sinking because nobody in their right mind would build telephone lines where there might be high tide. But, you know, whatever. If those buildings are checked and we're done over here, let's see what this little sandcastle thing, or actually that's a hatch. Hi, hatch. The door has rusted shut. It will never open. These buttons say otherwise. It's probably a combination here, but I'm just going to do it like this. I'll have to figure that out once I actually have a clue to the solution. I'm going to check out this hill over here before I go on to the next area. Assuming if I decide to live here and somehow found a way to live here for an extended period of time, I'd be having to climb this mountain first. What are you? Well, that had a weird effect. Are you a power switch? Something like that. Well, can I climb higher up into the mountain still? If I could. It's actually a dead end. Maybe if I... Oh, you can't actually jump in this game. Which means, yes, I can climb the highest mountain. Daniel carefully made his way along the ridge, which is actually something the game expected you to be able to do. Now I know. He knew what Ellie and Abel were doing. He'd known for a long time, and had decided to ignore it. Something that was becoming increasingly difficult to do. He reminded himself that they all 4 had to trust each other and rely on each other, as he had done so many times before. But it was a hollow reminder. He didn't really believe it anymore. He sat cross-legged on the very peak of the mountain, staring off to the horizon. What was out there? He did not know, and he did not think it knowable. Okay. Well, time to make my way back down. Is there fall damage? Let's find out. There might be fall damage. It's okay. I'm only slowly sliding down this hill. Looks like a completely different part of town. By town, I mean the island, of course. Let's see what else we can see. Someone says they want to go to Alaska. I guess that is the goal. Let's view some of the stuff here. This place was a forest once. A damp tangle of trees and foliage, free to run wild and unkempt. Isis could remember the glorious living trees barely. Or Isa, maybe I'm Isa. That could be a thing. These skeletons were all that remained. Oh, you mean the skeletons of the trees? It's like skeletons. But now I know they mean the skeletons of the trees, because it's supposed to be a poetic way to state it. You are... I can't tell you what you are. Maybe you'll tell me. The mysterious liquid had drained from the tank and into the water long ago. So thus making the water undrinkable. Was it oil? Maybe, maybe not. Here is a completely trampled house-looking area, or at least it looked like it was maybe once a house. Anything about this pole? No. You have a lot to say about a lot of random things, but not the telephone poles. Apparently no one knew what the fuck a telephone pole was. This next house will have all of the answers. Isa kept a smile on her face, though she did not feel like smiling. The rusted junk cast shadows on the opposite wall. How do you know Abel didn't take it? He said. Because I trust him, she said. He is a dismal man, but he would never hurt any of us. Do you trust Ellie? Daniel didn't answer immediately. I trust all of you, he said, because that's how we have to live. Daniel, you're the last one I gave the key to, said Isa. Daniel stared at the mysterious control panels. He didn't meet her eyes. He never met anyone's eyes. I didn't take it, he said. Why would I take it? I'm the one that told you it was missing. Electric socket. Wait, oh, that means I can recharge my batteries. Now I get it. She sat down beside the flashlight. What about Ellie? Has Ellie mentioned anything to you? She said. She didn't take it either, he said. Nor did I, and nor did Abel, she said. And yet, it's gone. So key or something went missing. Open this up and check out this valve thing over here. A strange acidic smell emanated from the pipe. Was this an oil field? I bet it was an oil field. Let's check out the next building. I have to keep my battery life alive. I'm saying that she knows more than she's telling us, said Ellie. There's something new over here when I kind of glanced. The wood was older than anyone could remember, and had rotted and fused with the floor. Oh dear. She kept the chapel locked, and she's the only one with a key, said Ellie, leaning on the barrels and folding her arms. So you're saying she took it, he said. My problem is that she's a liar, said Ellie angrily, fiddling with the knobs in the machine as she paced around, and that I have to keep explaining this to you over and over again. You don't know her like I know her. Exactly. You're not an impartial judge, he said. You guys really aren't going to comment on this knife? Okay. What's back here then? Books. What is your problem with Isa? Daniel said, putting his book down. He was annoyed at being interrupted here. And there's a charge station. So apparently the girls and the guys didn't like each other. I guess that's some of that sexual frustration between. Why is it getting darker? Music's kicking in, and suddenly it is indeed getting darker. Well, presumably it's gonna get night soon, so I should probably start thinking. I feel like I missed life, he said, like it whizzed right by while I wasn't looking, and I'm watching it disappear into the horizon, stuck in this prison. Oh, come on, she said. Look at the water. Isn't it beautiful? It's lonely, he said, lonely and infinite. They reached the ruins and strolled leisurely through them towards the shoreline. Isa could remember when the old building still stood here, filled with families. Okay. We're old, Isa, said Abel, and we're getting older. We've been getting older since we were born, said Isa. She was always smiling. Abel never smiled. Alright, back over here. How about in this ruin? These conversations were not new. Long ago, Isa had learned to love Abel, despite and for his despondency. She hugged him as the wind tossed her long gray hair around. Am I a really old person? I might be a really old person. Let's see, looking about. Still though, what is triggering it to get darker? It's probably not a time thing, so they stared out at the water together for a time, and continued to walk along the shoreline. I'm sorry, he said, and he cried because he often cried during these talks. For what? She said. For a lot of things. I read that, so what's in here? Not a whole lot, which means to the next, to the next. It's a long shoreline. I'm gonna have to go further inshore to the mountain just a little bit after I'm done looking at this, these things over by the shoreline. You're a building I can enter. Might as well enter you. Well, this is different. It's got the holy type music. Daniel was still thinking about his talk with Abel the day before. He absent-mindedly picked the book up. Something caught his eye, or rather, the lack of something. The moon silver was gone. He stared at the empty dais for some time, struggling to comprehend this simple, shocking fact. Had someone moved it? Issa, perhaps? She was the only one from her, as he had done. The only one with a key to the chapel of infinite light, but Ellie or Abel could have borrowed it from her, as he had done, or taken it. Regardless, he had to tell the others. So that leads to the event we saw just a little bit ago. There's a note here. O world, O prison dingy white, O ghostly shadowy grey, your whelming lies of false delight are dark and cold as moonless night, and bleak as sunless day. Sensical. And more notes. The World of Hector 1. The Moon Silver was written by the pure spring rain, I guess it's written in, upon pages of dried leaves, and found by noble Hector. The moon spoke to Hector, saying, Take this, the moon silver, and make for it a place in the chapel of infinite light, for it is a holy document. Man cannot read it, but its every letter is known to the demons of the night, and greatly feared. Know that it will protect you, even should my light cease to bathe the night in holy silver. Give it a place of honor, and treat it as a prized possession, for it is your weapon against evil. And so Hector took the moon silver, and placed it in the chapel of infinite light, upon a silver pedestal, and the night was warm with light, and the day was bright with warmth. So apparently they all really like books for some reason, and there was some holy book that's supposed to ward off evil, the evil of the night. However, though, the book is gone, and it's becoming nighttime. So what are we gonna do? I guess we'll find out. The Word of Hector 4. That's the fourth one I want to see. I guess I'm reading them way out of order. So the game has dictated. Alright, I'll read you. The Word of Hector 4. Again the moon came to Hector in a dream. The woodland heath is vanquished, it said. Your people are safe for now, but it still waits, lurking in the depths. It fears the moon silver, and it will not dare appear again while the holy document remains in your possession. But know this, should the moon silver ever be destroyed, even my divine light will not be able to save you from the wrath of the woodland heath and the darkness of hell. Keep it safe, keep it ready, and may you live in prosperity on this island that I have given you. Let your prosperity be a sign that the words I speak are true. Of course, the moonlight silver is missing, and it's becoming nighttime, so I don't know what I can do. It's not becoming nighttime, it is nighttime. Hallelujah! Well, do what we can, right? I mean, what could go wrong? Let's take a look about and see where we're headed. I didn't really get to explore this area fully before because I didn't really look close to the mountains. The night was wild and cold. The monstrous tracks leading from the hatch were brand new, but the wind quickly erased them. Oh, I can enter inside the hatch. There was no spider webs on the skeletal remains. The last of the spiders died years ago. So there's a puzzle here how to open this too. I need to figure out what this is all about pretty soon, or else no progress. Well, the mountain's high, that's one thing. Let's move deeper into the night. Are those the buildings I was at earlier? Those look like the buildings I was at earlier. Which means I'm going to move in a little bit. Yeah, I think this is where I started. Let's see if this says the thing, which I think that something that looked like this said earlier. Yeah. So we've circled the island. It's now nighttime. The only thing that's really left that I can think of are those hatches, but I don't really know how to open them, so maybe I missed something. Maybe I didn't. My flashlight's starting to go out. I should probably find an electric socket. I know that there's one over here, but because they keep on talking about lights, I'm going to guess it's probably important. And I should probably go find power as soon as possible. In here? There was actually a power switch up in the mountains, I now remember. Alright, where was it? There it was. Just a random charge station right here. I'm gonna turn my flashlight off for now, though. Until I think I need it, because I can kind of see right now. Alright, which means deeper in here. What is this switch? It says this will never open. I wish there was some clue I knew off the top of my head to open that stuff, though. I'm curious to explore it, and I'm not sure if I can make much progress until I figure that stuff out. But what sort of clue? What sort of clue? Holy shrine, take me within your grasp. I guess it's infinite light because it looks like it's always, light in here. Let's see. Oh, there was a note here. The word of Hector 2. The woodland teeth, the monster of the forest, was more tenacious than the other demons. It hated the people of Hector and desired to take the island away from them, and it lurked in dark corners and unseen passageways, scheming horrific schemes. It came to pass that Ursula was taken, stalked by the woodland teeth, in the dark underground attacked, and dragging down to hell. Then the moon came to Hector in a dream and said, Hector, the time has come. Your great enemy has arrived. You would all do well to tremble, for his power is great, and his depravity is unspeakable. Go, take the moon's silver from its pedestal, and do battle. And so Hector went to the chapel of infinite light, and retrieved the moon's silver, and went into the tunnels. Which means, is there one more? Yeah, here it is, last note piece, 3. Most of the text is legible. Hector descended, darkness, terrible whispering, infinite and deep, did not know how long he wandered, promised of brutal torture and mutilation waiting. Begone, teeth of the forest, spoke the holy incarnation written upon, return to the surface. You think that's enough to trigger nighttime? I think it might be enough. Going to assume this is nighttime now that I've read all that. Let's go. Where is that mountain with the door, which I need to look at? Mountain should be coming up. Try and keep my light alive to see. The night was wild and cold. So yeah, I assume this means it's nighttime, which means I can actually enter inside this building now. Come back when night falls. This seriously is not nighttime. Okay, game, if you're gonna say it's not nighttime, I'll believe, but that means where else do I need to go, is the question. I guess I'll check the mountains for one more thing after I recharge my flashlight in just a moment. Or actually, I'll go up to the mountains to recharge my flashlight. Maybe somehow that'll help. There might be a few things I can check, because now I know I can jump over mountains, and there's like some secret thing. Kind of thinking there might be like some secret cabin up here or something like that. Jumping! Will I break my legs? Nope, no fall damage. Well, at least we know that now. The only thing I can think of to check is the telephone lines, because that stuff I have not fully checked, and I guess they do go in a very strict pattern, so I'll go in here, find the power socket, recharge, and take my leave. Last thing I'm going to do is follow the telephone lines and see if they provide any answers. Telephone lines, do you have anything to add to the story here? It's through these telephone lines that we may in fact get our solution. The wild and the cold. I wish I knew how to enter this. I don't get how this works though. Frick. Let's take a look about. And continue following this stuff. Hello, great giant phone line in the middle of the mountain here. I'm just making sure you guys aren't going to lead me to anything somehow. I'm not exactly sure where you lead me to, where I haven't already been. I think I've been most places now. Outside of the few places I know I can't go to yet, so... yeah. This is when they start going into the sea, so there's not much for me to do. I have no proper judgment here. I see things. Maybe the order of Hector's notes is relevant. It might be, but how would you determine the order? I guess there is 4 Hector notes. Just like there is... if you went clockwise around the room, it would be 1, 4, 2, 3. There's 2 hatches, though. And that's the only thing in this game I can think of which there are 4 of, except me and my friends. There are, of course, 4 friends as well. Maybe, though. Maybe. Let's see if I can find the hatch again. I think I see it right now. Let's give it a shot. Actually, that's not the hatch. The hatch is over here. I already passed it. It's close to the way into the mountains, which obviously it says wait till night. I'm assuming I have to do something until night, before night falls, even though I could swear this is night, but if the game has anything to say, it is not night. Okay, so if I'm to listen to the order here, it would say it is 1, 4, 2, 3. No such luck. I don't have this. If anyone here knows the solution to this puzzle, I will actually now just ask for it, because I don't want to spend too long on this, especially since the game that we've come here for tonight's almost done downloading, so yeah. There might be something I'm missing from somewhere to make it nighttime. Maybe I'm not supposed to know the combination of that yet, but I'm not quite sure what they want me to do here. Alright, I read that. I read that as well. Evil man, you say. What childlike emptiness I feel, to find the most peaceful solace in fantasy, to find in masquerades a truth more vivid than reality. What sort of twisted villains were the ancient writers to taunt us with unreachable worlds more beautiful than our own? We have enough stored food to live long lives. When our wood runs out, we will be cold, but only so cold as to be uncomfortable. The water is rising, but it will be many years before it reaches our homes. Technically, we survive, but to what end? This island is all the world we know, and it is nothing but the broken pieces of a fairy tale. Maybe I'm just supposed to read everything like I've been doing. Maybe that'll make it nighttime, because there's something I missed. Is this dark enough for you, game? Is this considered nighttime? I won't waste my flashlight energy, so yeah. Is it nighttime yet, door? No, this still isn't nighttime, claims the door. You think there's a clue in one of the notes? Probably. I might have just missed it. Let me open this up. I haven't had any memories yet. I'm just looking about. I remember when the moon still shined, when each night was bathed in warm silver, and shadows were mysterious and friendly, and the island was a place of joy. That was many years ago. Since it disappeared, this place has become cold and stark, plagued by an inexplicable sense of loss and dependency. Daniel and Ellie are young. They do not feel it. They don't know what the world used to be like. But Abel and I do, and we were both filled with longing for intangible joys that I can no longer provide, for friends that do not exist, for feelings that cannot be reasonably felt. When I was younger, I smiled because I felt like smiling. Now, that smile is a disguise. Well, I'm finding stuff I missed before, I guess. Pretty immediately, too, which is kind of surprising. Alright, there's this... I found a key and I haven't found anything to open it with yet. I don't know how items work in this game, though. I don't think there's an inventory. I didn't mention inventory, so I just assume I'd use the key automatically. There is a box in here, though, but I've not found any other keys to it. Maybe I missed a key elsewhere. Or maybe I'm not supposed to have the key yet. Whether room had a key in it. Oh, wait, there's a key right next to it. He watched Ellie put her clothes back on, his eyes in focus, not really seeing her. She didn't say anything. Her lips were pursed in the internal ignorant scowl. He got up from his bed and opened his box. He used to believe that one day he would plant the last few seeds and would be able to grow food again. But now he knew that the ground was poison. Isa had given the seeds to him for safekeeping. Isa loved him. Isa trusted him. His eyes filled with tears, but he didn't let Ellie see. I'm supposed to meet Isa for a walk, he said. She didn't answer. She just left. Alright, I'm going to assume that's what that's for. Is it dark enough for you yet, game? See if there's anything else I missed around these places. I read that. I've been thinking. Book. Don't see any hidden keys. Oh, there was something to the light. Daniel took down the dead flashlight and replaced it with a fully charged one. Listening to Abel talk and thinking unrelated thoughts, he preferred the sharp illumination of flashlights to the dismissive flame. Or dimness, really. Dismiss. I swear this has to be nighttime. It looks darker to me than it did just a little bit ago. But I'm going to continue looking just to make sure there's nothing I'm missing. Ellie was lying. We were in here earlier. And I also know I can jump now, so maybe I'm just going to miss some things. Gonna charge up my flashlight while I'm in the neighborhood. Cool. Only one more box to go. And you. There's a key right here. Which means I can probably open this. Isa didn't know what the object was, but she remembered her father tinkering within his workshop, I think it's a calculator, when she was a girl. The workshop and the adjoining room were now far underwater, but she was now a young woman. But even now, seeing it brought her comfort. Abel came in. How do I get into storage? He's asked. She shut and locked the box. I told you before, she said. I forgot, he said. I don't go there often. Press the first 3 until they click. Leave the 4th one alone, she said. There you go. There's my answer. Now the question is, what is the correct thing? I'm going to use this quickly. Fuck, I messed it up. It says that one will never open, so maybe it's the other one I need to deal with. Let me go get my flashlight recharge. Flashlight recharge. And now that I know that I'm just supposed to mess with the first 3 and not mess with the 4th one, yeah. Is this seriously not nighttime enough for you, though? Guess maybe I have to first go into storage to make it happen. Yeah, I need to go into storage first, I think, but I think I now know the solution at least, so that's a bright side. Well, we've made it to storage. Oh boy. I kind of need my flashlight here, which means I should probably keep in mind where these recharge stations are. One on this top floor as we go a little bit deeper. So there is an underground complex. Ellie was uneasy. The darkness had never felt this menacing before. It seemed alive, watchful. I'm gonna go right first. See what we can see. The cove was long forgotten. Nobody had been below in many years. There's a few combinations of buttons it could be. Let me try all of them pressed in but one. Oh, I found it! They had to know the truth, and Hector would not tell it. So down here, where nobody would find them, he wrote it on scraps of paper. Maybe someday someone would discover them. It's pretty easy, actually. You think that they'd have enough time on an island full of nothing to do something. But where's the writing? I don't see any writing at all, actually. That's a little concerning. Alright, back up, I guess. Through and through. I'm gonna first try and recharge my flashlight, just make sure it doesn't run out when I'm down there. Recharge flashlights. I'm not exactly sure how electrical sockets recharge flashlights now that I'm starting to think about it, but you know, whatever. I'm not gonna complain either. Alright, so many turns. I'll take every right turn before I take the left turn. Ellie? Daniel's voice echoed around the tunnels. Silence. She couldn't explain the feeling. It was as though something was lurking around every corner, staying out of sight, staying ahead of her. Around all the dark corners right when you mention that. Daniel heard soft, scratching footsteps behind him. He turned and shined his flashlight around the tunnel. Nothing. Actually, I was scratching sound earlier when I was in that one room, so yeah. Power socket. It is kind of maze-like, and there's still directions I haven't explored. I'm going to take every right first, though. I said that. That is a dead end right, though. Alright. Every right first. Here are tables. She never felt like this before. She knew those tunnels well. She had been down them here hundreds of times. Yet she was lost. Lost, confused, and afraid. Just clicking things. That's the same thing. So going to assume nothing here, which means forward and back. I'm gonna fucking run out of my flashlight soon. It's gonna be great because you can barely see. So this was a dead end. Just a general dead end. Which means back we go. Hopefully I was actually kind of hoping I could go backwards because I want to recharge my flashlight because I really don't want to run out of my flashlight down here. That'd be great to have it happen to me. So I took every right, which means I have not been this way. Let's roll. He called again. Ellie? Still no answer, but he heard the footsteps again. Take every right first. Oh, something shiny down here. He didn't even have time to cry out at the shadowed silhouette in his flashlight beam lunging towards him. Think about these tools. Something shadowy in his beam lunged towards him. You guys think the Shadow Man that they keep on talking about is going to eventually appear and come and get me? I'm first taking this direction because I want to recharge my flashlight. Let's get this. Cool. Still directions I haven't been. So I haven't been to the left, so let's check that out. Dun, 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 dun. Sure is a dark hallway through here. Be a shame if I start hearing scratching footsteps. No matter what I do, I'm not turning around. Unless because I get to a dead end. Which I have. First thing to do. You know, she felt the breath before she felt his claws, and then she was gone. That was a low quality growl, though. Let's see. So they both died down here, which is where they disappeared to. And now it's my turn to go back down through the long hallway. Back. Still haven't visited all the directions, though, so there's still more to see. Though maybe since it growled, it triggered an event to happen when I'm going backwards. Thankfully, I know my direction well through. This is where my good memory comes into good use. Not to mention why I took all the right directions so I would know which way I came from. Alright, recharge that, and then I came from this way. I haven't really gained much from coming down here, and I haven't gone this direction yet, so I'm gonna go do that right now. To the left, to the left. Over here to the left, we find more turns. There's a lot of turns in this place, isn't there? That's dead to the left, so what's over to the right? Of course, this is a storeroom, so I guess that makes sense. A family of rats lived amid the crates of dried food. They were perhaps the last animals left alive. I guess it would be rats, not cockroaches like many predict. Frickin' rats. They're bad for food supplies. Cockroaches are bad for food too, but not nearly as much as rats. Now then, through and through. This is where the hatch was. Yeah, I found my way out of here. I think I've done everything I need to do down here, though, so... Up I go. Recharge my flashlight. Time to take the mountain path, if I am to believe. Yeah, the night sounds louder. The wind sounds so much... Yeah, it's definitely darker than it was before. And everything here is louder. Return to the mountain. Yep, it's time. Issa couldn't remember the last time she had been under the mountain. There was no reason to come here, but she had looked everywhere else. She clutched the old knife in her right hand. Yesterday, the moon silver went missing. Today, Ellie, Daniel, and Abel were all nowhere to be found. Okay, so I am Issa. She knew the word of Hector by heart. The sinister implications were not lost on her. Alright, deep into the mountain, let's roll. Our answers come before us. Abel heard her and answered, I'm here. There was something strange about his voice, something Issa couldn't like. What are you doing here? I am reading of ages past, he said. Do you know where Ellie and Daniel are? She said. I do not, he said. They are missing, she said. They are missing and the moon silver is missing. Do you understand me? Do you understand what this implies? I do, he said. Night will fall in a few hours, and we need to stick together. We can sleep in the same house, mine or yours. We will keep the fire burning, we'll keep the doors locked, and we will pray a bell. He will pray to the unseen moon for mercy and protection. Are you happy here, Issa? We can't stay in the dark and thrives in the dark. Are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. Please, Ibel. My flashlight just went off. There were tears in his eyes, and he struggled to control his voice. Issa, I know you. I know every inch of you, and I know every corner of your mind. You aren't happy. None of us are happy. Issa didn't respond. I'm staying here. The tears were flowing freely now. I would like it if you stayed with me, Issa. Please stay with me. It will find you, Abel. I let it out, Issa. I destroyed the moon's silver. Issa was shocked and silent. I burnt it yesterday, after I talked with Daniel. Her eyes were filling with betrayed, angry tears. What? Abel, no. Why? Do you want to be dragged to hell? Do you want us to be dragged there with you? We're already in hell. This island, this horrible, barren, lonely island. This place of sin, this is hell. I saw the blasphemous scraps of paper Jeremiah found those many years ago. I read them before they were destroyed. Perhaps I was the only one who did, and I did not believe them. But I have lived life since then, and I have seen the truth of their words. Issa could not respond as tears streamed down her face. She was just walking toward the sound of his voice, the knife clutched in her hand. You did not read the blasphemous scraps, Issa, but I did. I remember them with incredible clarity, supernatural clarity even. Fear not the dark shadows or the scratches in the night, for the woodland teeth is your salvation. It is your escape. It said this and more, Issa. The woodland teeth is not here to take us to hell. It is here to take us away from hell. She could see him ahead, her flashlight beam cutting through the sticky fog. He was sitting in a chair, a book on his lap. As she approached, she could see that he was crying too. I believe the word of Hector, she said, and I will not go to hell. Please trust me. Please. I believe the word of Hector, she said again, as she put the knife to her chest, point first. No, Issa, please don't. Stay with me. Don't leave me alone. I love you, she spat tearfully. I love you so much. She closed her eyes and pushed. She remembered where the heart was located from one of her father's old books. Abel was too slow to catch her falling body. He knelt beside her and sobbed for some time. He was not a strong young man anymore, but Issa's body was light. He would take her out to the water. She had always loved the water. But then what? Read? Read until it found him? No, he didn't feel like reading anymore. He was ready to be rid of this entire cursed island, books and all. He would simply wander, aimlessly and freely, to take one last look at the island and feel the wind blowing the memories away. So I guess this is who I am right now. And then, night fell, he would return. And wait. I don't want to turn around. You know the game wants me to turn around. This is a dead end. Do you guys think I should turn around? Let's roll. Walk backwards. I'm actually controlling it. I guess towards the light, or walk away from the light. Walking away from the light. There's a wall here. To the light, then. Morning dawned on the empty island, cold and bright and windy. The moon's silver. Well, credits time then. Made by one person and some free sound stuff, apparently. Textures by people at those places. Or people. Engine Unity 4 free version. And dedicated to some person. The end. I guess that's the end. Do I head towards the light again? No, it just goes backwards. Which means, I guess, we just have to close it. So that has been The Moon Silver. Catch you guys next time.